The Silent Watchers. The observation deck of the Meridian stretched across the entire upper hull of the ship, its transparent aluminum walls offering an unobstructed view of the galaxy's heart. Captain Zara Blackstone stood motionless before the vast expanse, her dark eyes reflecting the distant glow of 1,000 civilizations that had never bothered to acknowledge Earth's existence. The irony wasn't lost on her. Humanity had been watching the stars for decades, learning their secrets, studying their weaknesses, while the galaxy's greatest powers dismissed them as primitive and irrelevant. "Captain," came the voice of Commander Jackson Rivers from behind her. His footsteps echoed softly on the polished deck as he approached. "General Crane is requesting your presence in the war room. The latest intelligence reports have arrived." Zara nodded without turning away from the viewport. "How many times have we tried, Jackson? How many diplomatic missions, how many peace offerings, how many attempts to establish meaningful contact?" 47 official diplomatic ventures over the past 12 years, Rivers replied immediately. He had been with her long enough to know when she was thinking aloud rather than asking for information. All met with either dismissal or outright hostility. And yet they never wondered why a primitive species kept showing up at their doorstep with technology that shouldn't exist. Zara finally turned to face her first officer, a bitter smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Come. Let's see what fresh intelligence the galaxy has provided us today." The war room aboard the Meridian was a testament to human ingenuity and paranoia. Holographic displays showed real-time positions of every major fleet in 3 sectors, while quantum-encrypted communications arrays monitored diplomatic channels across 17 different alien languages. At the center of it all stood General Victor Crane, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of tactical projections. "Zara," he greeted her with a nod as she entered. "We've intercepted communications from the Stellar Confederation. They're planning something significant." The holographic display shifted to show a detailed map of the Confederation's territory, a sprawling empire that controlled nearly 1/3 of the galaxy's habitable systems. Red markers indicated fleet movements, while yellow dots represented diplomatic vessels moving with unusual urgency. "They're forming a coalition," Rivers observed, studying the patterns. "Look at these vectors. Ships from at least 6 different species all converging on neutral territory." "Not just any neutral territory," Crane corrected grimly. "The Helix Nebula. It's the perfect staging ground for an assault on Earth's outer colonies." Zara leaned forward, her tactical mind already calculating possibilities. "Show me the fleet compositions." The display zoomed in, revealing detailed schematics of alien vessels. Korthak dreadnoughts with their distinctive crescent hulls, Scythian battlecruisers bristling with plasma cannons, even the enigmatic Void. Runners had committed ships to this gathering, their first open alliance in over a century. "Estimated combined firepower?" Zara asked. "Enough to glass a dozen worlds," Crane replied. "If they're targeting our colonies, Zara, we're looking at potential genocide. The Outer Rim settlements don't have the defenses to withstand this kind of assault." A soft chime indicated an incoming priority transmission. The main display flickered, and suddenly they were looking at the familiar face of President Luna Cross, broadcasting from the secure chambers beneath Geneva. Her usual composed demeanor showed cracks of strain. "General Crane, Captain Blackstone," she began without preamble. "I've just concluded an emergency session with the Global Defense Council. Ambassador Nakamura's latest diplomatic mission to the Confederation has been unsuccessful." "Define unsuccessful," Zara said. The President's expression darkened. "High Chancellor Vex dismissed our peace offering and declared humanity a contamination that must be cleansed from the galaxy. Nakamura barely escaped with his life." The room fell silent except for the quiet hum of the ship's systems. Zara had known Kai Nakamura for 15 years. He was one of Earth's most skilled diplomats, capable of finding common ground with species that breathed methane and communicated through color changes. If he couldn't establish dialogue, no one could, ma'am. Rivers spoke carefully. "Are we finally authorizing the revelation protocols?" President Cross was quiet for a long moment. In that silence, the weight of decades of careful planning seemed to press down on everyone in the room. Humanity had spent 50 years building in secret, preparing for the day when the galaxy would force their hand. That day, it seemed, had finally arrived. "The Shadow Fleet is to be revealed," she said at last. "All stealth protocols are hereby suspended. It's time the galaxy learned what happens when they mistake patience for weakness." General Crane stepped forward. "Ma'am, are you certain? Once we reveal our capabilities, there's no going back. The galaxy will know we've been watching them, learning from them, preparing for them." "Victor," the president said softly, "they've made their choice. The Confederation has decided that humanity must be destroyed. I will not allow our species to be exterminated because we tried too hard to be diplomatic." The transmission ended, leaving the war room in contemplative silence. Zara looked at the tactical display, but her mind was already racing through contingencies. The Shadow Fleet, humanity's greatest secret. For decades, Earth had publicly maintained only a small, defensive force while secretly constructing a fleet that would dwarf anything the galaxy had ever seen. "How long until the Confederation reaches our territory?" she asked. "Based on current trajectories, 72 hours, Crane replied. "But Zara, we have something they don't know about." "The quantum fold drives," Rivers said with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. "They think it takes us weeks to travel between systems. They have no idea we can fold spacetime itself." Zara activated her personal communicator, sending a coded signal that would reach every human ship in the sector. "All Shadow Fleet vessels, this is Captain Blackstone. Authentication code Prometheus. Stealth protocols are suspended. Repeat, stealth protocols are suspended. Decloak and prepare for Operation Revelation." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Across the viewport, space itself seemed to ripple and distort as dozens of ships materialized out of apparent nothingness. Sleek vessels with hulls that bent light around them, their very existence a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Each ship was a masterpiece of engineering, incorporating technology reverse-engineered from 100 different alien civilizations and improved upon by human innovation. The Meridian itself began to transform as its stealth systems powered down. What had appeared to be a simple reconnaissance vessel revealed itself to be a massive dreadnought, its hull studded with weapons that could crack planets and shields that could withstand the fury of stars. "My God," Rivers whispered, watching. More ships appear with each passing moment. "Even I didn't know there were this many," General Crane smiled grimly. "The galaxy wanted to test humanity's resolve. They're about to discover that when humans are pushed to the brink, we don't just fight back, we evolve." Zara opened a channel to the entire fleet. Her voice, when she spoke, carried the weight of centuries of human struggle and the promise of humanity's future among the stars. "Attention all vessels. For 50 years we have watched from the shadows. We have learned their languages, studied their tactics, and mapped their weaknesses. We offered them peace, and they chose war. We offered them cooperation, and they chose genocide. The galaxy believes humanity is weak because we are young. They are about to learn that youth can be the greatest strength of all." She paused, looking out at the assembled fleet, hundreds of ships that represented the culmination of human achievement and determination. "Today, we stop hiding. Today, we show the galaxy what happens when they mistake mercy for weakness. The stars didn't listen to our words of peace. Now they will listen to our declaration of power." The Shadow Fleet began to move, their formation precise and deadly. Each ship carried technology that would rewrite the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. But more than that, each ship carried the hopes and determination of a species that had been underestimated for far too long. As the fleet prepared to make its first public appearance, Zara couldn't help but think of all the diplomatic missions that had been dismissed, all the peace offerings that had been scorned. The galaxy had chosen to see humanity as prey. They were about to discover they had awakened a predator instead. The Reckoning Storm. The emergency session of the Stellar Confederation Council convened in chaos. High Chancellor Vex, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the harsh emergency lighting, stood before the assembled representatives of 47 different species. The holographic displays surrounding the chamber showed the impossible. Hundreds of human vessels that had appeared from nowhere, their very existence rewriting everything the galaxy thought it knew about Earth's capabilities. Explain to me. Bex's voice resonated through his species' natural harmonic frequencies, creating an unsettling sound that translated poorly through the universal communicators. How a primitive species we've dismissed for decades has managed to field a fleet that rivals our combined armadas. The Korthak delegate, Ambassador Thex, shifted nervously in his biosuit. Our intelligence networks detected no ship construction, no resource gathering on the scale required for such a fleet. It's as if they materialized these vessels from thin air. Nothing materializes from thin air, snapped Admiral Zenth of the Scythian Empire. They've been building in secret probably for decades. The question is, how did they hide it from our surveillance? Meanwhile, aboard the human flagship, Prometheus, Admiral Phoenix Kane studied the enemy fleet formations through his tactical displays. At 52, he was humanity's most experienced fleet commander, having spent the better part of 3 decades preparing for this exact moment. His weathered face bore the scars of countless training exercises in Earth's hidden battle simulators, where human commanders had fought against simulated alien fleets using stolen tactical data. Admiral, Lieutenant Nora Steele reported from the communications station, we're detecting massive fleet movements across 17 sectors. It looks like they're mobilizing everything they have. Kane nodded grimly. Expected response. Dr. Vale, what's the status on our surprise packages? Dr. Marcus Vale, the chief architect of Earth's advanced weapons program, smiled with the satisfaction of a man whose theoretical work was about to become very practical. The quantum disruption torpedoes are loaded and ready, Admiral. The Stellar Confederation is about to learn that their energy shields are designed to stop conventional weapons. And what about the phase shift technology? Operational on all primary vessels. We can literally exist in a parallel dimension for short periods. Their sensors won't even register us until we choose to engage. Captain Orion Blake, Commander of Earth Stealth Operations, stepped forward from the shadows where he had been observing. His unit had spent years infiltrating alien space, gathering intelligence and testing humanity's cloaking technology against real enemy sensors. Admiral, I've been monitoring their communications. They're calling this an extermination fleet. They intend to destroy every human colony, every outpost, and then glass Earth itself. Kane's expression hardened. Then we respond accordingly. Signal the fleet, all vessels to battle stations. It's time the galaxy learned the difference between dormant and extinct. The first engagement occurred at the edge of the Kepler system, where humanity had established its furthest colony. The Confederation fleet, nearly 800 vessels strong, moved in the traditional formation that had dominated galactic warfare for centuries. Massive dreadnoughts at the center, surrounded by layers of cruisers and fighters, advancing in a coordinated wall of destruction. They never saw the human ships coming. Lieutenant Steele, piloting her reconnaissance fighter Wraith, phased into normal space directly behind the enemy flagship. Her vessel, no larger than a shuttle, unleashed a single quantum disruption torpedo. The weapon passed through the Confederation ship's shields as if they didn't exist, then detonated inside the vessel's power core. The resulting explosion lit up space like a newborn star. All vessels, Admiral Kane's voice echoed across the human fleet. Weapons free. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for generations. Human ships phased in and out of normal space, striking with impossible precision, before vanishing again. Their weapons bypassed energy shields entirely, while their own defensive systems absorbed damage that should have destroyed them. High Chancellor Vex watched the battle unfold from his command ship, his crystalline features reflecting the horror of watching his seemingly invincible fleet being systematically dismantled. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, voice shaking. "Their weapons appear to operate on quantum principles we don't understand. They're not just more advanced, they're using physics we haven't discovered yet. Impossible. No species develops technology that quickly." But Captain Blake, listening to their communications from his cloaked vessel, knew the truth. Humanity hadn't developed this technology quickly. They had been working on it for decades, reverse engineering captured alien tech and improving upon it with human innovation. Every failed diplomatic mission, every dismissed peace offering, had been an opportunity to gather intelligence and refine their understanding of galactic technology. The tide of battle turned decisively when Dr. Vale activated the fleet's most devastating weapon. The Prometheus extended massive arrays from its hull, generating a field that interfered with the quantum foam of space itself. Suddenly, faster-than-light travel became impossible within a radius of several light-years. "They're trapped," Steele reported with grim satisfaction. "No retreat, no reinforcements. They wanted to exterminate us, Admiral. Now they get to face the consequences." But Admiral Kane was not interested in wholesale slaughter. As the enemy fleet found itself outmatched and unable to escape, he opened a communication channel to the entire Confederation armada. "Attention, Stellar Confederation forces. This is Admiral Phoenix Kane of the Earth Defense Fleet. You came here to commit genocide against my species. You dismissed our attempts at peace, scorned our offers of cooperation, and chose to see us as prey to be hunted." His voice carried across space, translated into dozens of languages and broadcast on every frequency the aliens used. "But humanity is not your prey. We are not weak because we are young, and we are not defenseless because we sought diplomacy first. You have seen a fraction of our capabilities today. Our phase shift technology makes us effectively invisible. Our quantum disruption torpedoes render your shields useless. Our field generators can trap entire fleets in normal space. The enemy, fleet hung in space, their weapons useless against human shields, their escape routes blocked, their communications being intercepted and decoded in real time. You will withdraw from human space immediately. You will return to your territories and inform your governments that Earth is no longer a target for conquest or extermination. We tried to join the galactic community peacefully. You forced us to join it as conquerors instead." High Chancellor Vex, his pride warring with his survival instincts, activated his own communication system. "And if we refuse?" Kane's response was immediate and chilling. "Then you will discover what humanity is truly capable of when we stop holding back. Your choice, Chancellor. You can return home with most of your fleet intact, or you can discover why evolution favors the adaptable over the arrogant." The silence that followed seemed to stretch across the entire galaxy. Then, one by one, Confederation vessels began powering down their weapon systems. In the days that followed, news of the battle spread throughout the galaxy like wildfire. The Stellar Confederation, the most powerful force in known space, had been defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitive. Alien governments that had never heard of Earth suddenly found themselves scrambling to establish diplomatic relations. Dr. Vale stood beside Admiral Kane on the bridge of the Prometheus as they watched the defeated alien fleet jump to hyperspace. Or rather, what passed for hyperspace when traveling at conventional speeds. The quantum field generators were still active, ensuring the aliens' retreat would be long and humiliating. "Admiral," Vale said quietly, "the galaxy will never underestimate us again." Kane nodded, but his expression remained thoughtful. "The question is, what do we do with this power? We could conquer the galaxy if we wanted to. Our technology is centuries ahead of theirs." Captain Blake approached, having just returned from monitoring the alien communications during their retreat. "I've been listening to their transmissions, Admiral. There are already 3 species requesting immediate diplomatic contact. 2 others are offering technology trades. The hegemony is asking if we need any assistance with territorial disputes." Kane almost smiled at that. The same species that had ignored Earth's existence for decades were now eager to curry favor with humanity. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them the galaxy is finally ready to listen." Lieutenant Steele looked up from her console. "Sir, we're receiving a priority transmission from President Cross." The President's image appeared on the main display, and even through the quantum communication lag, her satisfaction was evident. "Admiral Kane, preliminary reports suggest your mission was successful beyond our projections." "Yes, ma'am. The immediate threat to human colonies has been neutralized. The galaxy now knows that Earth is not defenseless." "Good. Because we have 47 different species requesting diplomatic meetings, and apparently the Galactic Trade Consortium is eager to discuss mutually beneficial technology exchanges. Her smile was sharp. It's amazing how quickly the galaxy develops an interest in diplomacy when they realize they're outgunned. As the human fleet prepared to return to Earth space, Admiral Kane reflected on the irony of their situation. Humanity had spent decades trying to join the galactic community as equals, offering friendship and cooperation. The galaxy had responded with dismissal and threats of extermination. Now, after demonstrating their true capabilities, every species in the galaxy wanted to be humanity's friend. "Admiral," Dr. Vale said, "we're receiving an interesting signal. It's from the Confederation flagship, a personal message from High Chancellor Vex." "Put it through." Vex's translated voice filled the bridge, tinged with what might have been respect. "Admiral Kane, I underestimated your species. We all did, perhaps. Perhaps there is room for diplomatic discussion after all." Kane's response was measured but firm. "Chancellor, humanity has always been open to diplomatic discussion. We tried for 50 years to establish peaceful contact. You chose to respond with threats of genocide. If you're truly interested in diplomacy now, you know where to find us." The transmission ended, and the human fleet continued toward home, leaving behind a galaxy that would never again mistake humanity's youth for weakness, or their patience for fear. Earth had finally taken its place among the stars, not as the junior partner they had hoped to be, but as the dominant power no one had seen coming. The galaxy hadn't listened to their words of peace, but they would never forget their demonstration of power.